Hi, I'm Karlene Punancy, and I'm an immigration attorney. Today I'm going to talk to you about how you can start your own company and apply for H-1B visa. Learn about how you can obtain an H-1B visa, how you can live and work legally in the United States, and learn all about all the pitfalls that you can avoid when you're on an H-1B visa. What exactly is the H-1B visa? The H-1B visa allows you to work in the United States. You must be a professional in order to apply for the H-1B visa, and you must have a sponsoring company. Now, with H-1B visa, you need a sponsor. You need a company to sponsor you. You cannot apply for the H-1B visa on your own. Number one, you must be a professional. You must have work experience, and you must have a sponsor in the United States. Now, the important thing is that the sponsor must show that they can pay the salary that the Department of Labor decides on the H-1B visa. The employer cannot on his own just say, okay, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars and immigration is going to accept it. It must be a salary that is designated and acceptable by the Department of Labor. And this is just to avoid fraud. In the past, employers used to use the H-1B visa to employ people, and then they would just pay them whatever they wanted to. Now, since the H-1B visa is a professional visa, you must be a professional. You must at least have a bachelor's degree in order to apply. It's very important that you're paid the salary that you deserve. The government only allows 65,000 H-1B visas on a yearly basis. So it's very important that you apply early. Usually, immigration begins to accept applications about March 1st of each year. So if you want to apply, try to apply as early as possible. Have all your documents in place. Have your sponsor have their documents in place so that you can apply on time. Now, what is important is that H-1B visa is usually given for 3 years, and it's renewable. But it's not renewable forever. You can renew it 2 times at least, and then that's it. Now, something that people always wonder with the H-1B visa is, how long does it take? Well, remember, with the H-1B visa, you're allowed to pay an extra fee to the USCIS. And if you pay that fee of $2,500, immigration can process your visa at a much faster rate. So instead of waiting for months, you can have your H-1B visa 14 days to a month if you pay that fee, which is called a premium processing fee. What is important with the H-1B visa also is that you must work with the company that employed you. If you decide that you don't like the company anymore, or if you get fired or something happens, there's one thing that you must do. You must, with your new employer, reapply for the H-1B visa. In other words, you need to do the application all over again so that the H-1B visa will be in the name of your new company and not the old company. So yes, you can change employers, but make sure that the new employer refiles the H-1B so the H-1B visa is in your name and the new employer's name. Remember, though, that the H-1B visa is for 3 years. Whether you get it done in the United States or you get it stamped outside the United States at the American Embassy, the H-1B visa is only for 3 years, and then it's renewable. Now, a lot of people have been asking, can I, with the H-1B visa, apply for my residence? You can apply for your residence with the H-1B visa if you have a sponsor. So if your company that you're working for decides that they love the way you work, they love your job ethics, you have integrity, you get along with everybody there, and you're doing a great job for the company can sponsor you. Now, the company will sponsor you through a lengthy process called a labor certification, which we can talk about later. But to answer your question, yes, you can go from an H-1B visa to permanent residence, green card, if you have a sponsor, the company that you're working for or another company. One question that I often get is, what if I want to open up a company, my own company, while I'm working under the H-1B visa for company A? Can I start up another company, company B? Well, you're not allowed to work for another company while you're on the H-1B. The company that sponsors you is your sponsoring company, and you need to work for your sponsoring company. Now, your spouse could start up another company, could invest in another company, but you're not allowed to work in that company. You must work for the company that sponsored you. You can be a passive investor. You can get employment with that company. You can receive a salary with that company unless that company is willing to sponsor you. And you must work, again, I need to tell you how important it is that you need to work for the company that sponsored you. Now, the question that always comes around is, what if I just started up my own company and used that company to sponsor me? Well, in some instances, immigration may allow a startup company to do a sponsorship of the applicant, but not in all cases. Remember that for a company to sponsor you, the company has to be a company that has taxes, a company that has money that's moving in and out. It cannot be a company that's suffering financially. There must be a profit in the taxes. If immigration reviews the taxes, the income tax of the company, there has to be some kind of a profit. Breaking even, okay, but profit is better. If the company is not doing well, if the company is not able to pay your salary, then immigration is going to deny you when you apply for an extension. So these are all important points that you need to remember when you have the H-1B. With the H-1B also, remember that you do get to apply for your Social Security. Your family members, your spouse can apply for an H-4 through you, and yes, is entitled to a work permit, is entitled to a Social Security also. It's also very important to remember that with your children, who are minor children below 21, that they can attend school legally in the United States, and they can stay on your H-1 visa. They can have an H-4 visa until they're 21. Once they're past 21 years of age, then they need to reapply for another kind of visa. If they're in the United States studying, maybe an F-1 visa. If they're of an age where they graduated college and they're ready to find a job, maybe they can find a company to sponsor them for the H-1B also, or find a company to sponsor them to give them the permanent residence. But it's important to remember that when you're making your plans, that the H-1B covers only children under 21. And once they become 21 years of age, you have to find another type of application for them. It is important to remember something about the H-1B visa. When you're in an H-1B status, there is an employer-employee relationship. So you're an employee of a company. It's not a visa that allows you to be a partner or owner that's 60% or more. There must be an employer-employee relationship, because that's what the H-1B visa is. You're an employee of the company, a professional employee of the company. So remember that when you apply for the H-1B visa, that's the status that you will obtain. Remember again that it's only 65,000 visas a year. So when you're applying for the H-1B visa, try to do it early so that you can get in before thousands of people apply. That's very important. If you want to learn more about the H-1B visa, follow the link above or the description below, and we will help you. I'm Karlene Punancy. I'm an immigration attorney for 35 years. If you like this information, subscribe to our channel. We'll help you.